Howdy. Some 9 months ago, I guess, I made this video. There are some others relating to the same topic. This fire on the Glacier 3000 mountain station. And back in the days, I found something very interesting. Now let's just watch a quick part of the video. I have no idea where I start, but interesting discoveries. Yeah, it's too strange to hear myself talking. But anyway, there are those caves. Now let's put off the volume. This would be an idea. And these are the pictures what you can find on Google Earth, I guess. And there's a cave, a glacial cave on top of the mountain, not too far from the glacial cable car mountain station. There's like stuff in this cave, as you can see. And I've been watching these pictures, and there's one particular picture which is very interesting. Yeah, I will put a link below to this video where you can find all the links. Yeah, this picture. I've been pondering about this ever since I even took contact with the ETH of Zurich, Glaciological Institute, University Zurich. They responded to me, or at least some of them. But anyway, I was asking them, do you know, is there iron in this glacier water which is pouring out there? Or what is this red stuff? And the first person I contacted said that, yeah, this could be very well possible, but he doesn't know. He gave me some contacts from other people who should know. I contacted them and I never got an answer. So I don't know still. And it's a little bit too far to go around there and check it out. The thing is, this is under the glacier ice. That's the glacial cave on top of the mountain. And we have this red stuff. And I know about algae and these kind of things which can occur. But the thing is why I asked about the iron is because we had this fire on this glacial station. And they didn't know why there was a fire. And I thought if there is a glacier there growing on top of the mountain, as I think they do, they are, I think, contemporary lava streams made of water. And if there is a possibility that there would be iron containing water pouring out of the mountain, and we would have some geomagnetic activity which could induce currents, and currents accumulate on edges and peaks, so it could hit this mountain station. Because there's already iron in the mountain. And obviously in the ice too. Probably. Like I said, I don't know. The reason why I make this video now is I stumbled across an article which I find very interesting. But before we go to the article, I still wanted to show you some pictures, maybe two, I think. That's the first one. Let's start off here in the distance. Les Diables, Glacier 3000. Where the fire happened. Where we have this reddish, brownish, banded glacial ice. It might be Sahara dust, after all. I don't know. But it could be also iron. Because about 33 kilometers from Glacier 3000. We find the Kraftort Grimmiwasser. The Kraftort Grimmiwasser. A place of power, grimy water, which is not too far from Saint Stephan. And there we find the Iron Well. That's why it's a place of power, because there's iron containing water pouring out of the ground. And it's not too far from where the fire happened. So we might have to take into consideration it is possible that there's somewhere on top of a mountain there is water pouring out which contains iron, and it just starts to freeze and forms a glacier. So the iron in a way stays there. Yeah, but that was just back in the days, this very wild assumption. Or maybe a conclusion. I don't know. So now let's go to the article. And I'll show you only the article, I won't show you the paper, because it would take so many hours to read that, and I didn't have time really to read that. I didn't have really time for making videos and stuff, and there's things going on. But now let's go to the paper. So now, that's not the paper, that's the article, but anyway. The bite. Scientists intrigued by glacier bleeding red fluid. Yeah, I have heard about that. I probably made even videos about that. And this article is from yesterday. And I could be really lazy and push the button and someone who can really talk English would read it for you, but I will read it for you. Blood falls. Oh man. Now let's try the desktop version of that. Maybe it works. Their discovery could even help us find life on Mars. Blood falls. For over a century, scientists have been puzzling over a mysterious blood-red liquid that's seeping out of a glacier in Antarctica. So obviously we are not talking about the Alps, but Earth nonetheless. On a bigger scale, those two are not too far away from each other. Yeah, that's a really annoying site, because they have those pop-up commercials. But anyway, let's try to keep calm. The weird side, later dubbed Blood Falls, has confounded researchers. But now, a team of researchers at Johns Hopkins may have shed new light on the strange discharge. Yeah, and I find it very interesting that there are so many Johns Hopkins things there in the internet, wherever you look. They took samples of the red liquid and examined them under a highly specialized transmission electron microscope. Yeah, I would like to have one of these. If you have a spare one, send it to me. And found something surprising. Which could even have implications for our search for alien life on other planets. As soon as I looked at the microscope images, I noticed that there were those little nanospheres, and they were iron-rich. And they have lots of different elements in them besides iron: silicon, calcium, aluminium, sodium. And they all varied, said Ken Levy, a research scientist and co-author of a new paper about the glacier published in the journal Frontiers in Astronomy and Space Sciences, in a statement. Click here, you will get the paper. I think it's open access. Nanosphere nuggets. The existence of these mysterious nanospheres, which haven't been detected until now, runs counter to the prevailing theory that the blood-red liquid was caused by an abundance of minerals. Minerals are crystalline in nature, while these nanospheres, which are 100 times smaller than red blood cells, aren't. Their existence also sheds new light on the microorganisms and bacteria that have lived for potentially millions of years underneath the saline waters of the Antarctic Glacier, according to Levy. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe the stuff which is pouring out in the Swiss Alps on the mountain, Les Diablerets, is the same stuff, same thing, same mechanism. Mars in Antarctica. Interestingly, Levy is a planetary scientist who has studied ways of analyzing biomaterials on Earth and beyond. With the advent of the Mars rover mission, there was an interest in trying to analyze the solids that came out of the waters of Blood Falls as if it was a Martian landing site. Levy said in a statement, "What would happen if a Mars rover landed in Antarctica? Would it be able to determine what was causing the Blood Falls to be red?" Unfortunately, the rover vehicles currently examining the Martian surface are designed to detect minerals in their crystalline form, which makes our methods for identifying these minerals inadequate, according to the researcher. This means scientists are left with a significant challenge. There isn't a practical way to get a transmission electron microscope to Mars. But if they could find these nanospheres on other planets, maybe, they could indicate signs of ancient life, Levy and his team suggests in the paper. Yeah, Blood Falls. Yesterday. Around the same time, I also made this video. I think that's also 9 months old. Floods, Oolithic iron ores, unconfirmed quake scalability. Unconfirmed near Zurich, Switzerland. And the thing is, for example, now let's go a bit ahead. So now that's the location of the quake. And I think I'd zoom in here. And I just want to point out that this region is very active geothermally. Now, I've been talking about that. Jura Park Aargau. Jura Park Aargau. That's a region where I grew up. Tuva Ditch, there is a growing spring because it emits CO2 and it is disposing calcium. So it's growing. And we have there's also some mine there which contains Oolithic iron ore. So now that's, as you can see, this is a really sketchy video made out of older videos made by myself, which are sketchy altogether. A review on the characterization and processing of Oolithic iron ores. There might be somewhere some pictures, I guess. Maybe it's not in this video I found, but there's like, they're basically like I've been drawing, probably have noticed somewhere. Like this. These are spheres which have different kinds of minerals and other elements attached to them, and they are separated like in shells. so to say. There's a layering going on within every sphere. I don't know if those Antarctic spheres, because I haven't read the paper yet, if they are the same way structured as are those Oolithic iron ores. And I think this can only happen electrically. Which brings us back again to Pentti Eskola, a Finnish guy, man, gentleman, dude, or however you want to call a person, a geology person, who figured out the metamorphosed rock term. And he called these kinds of, let me use another color, these kinds of places, as far as I understood, where we have different elements and stuff, these are facies, because there are minerals structured from the center outwards, and they have bow shapes or ring shapes, like Oolithic iron ore, just on a much bigger scale. Maybe also as do those sphericals they found just in the Antarctic. So, question remains: is there any possibility that here on Le Diableret Glacier 3000, when I was a kid it was just Le Diableret, where we have this glacier, where we have the cave in the glacier, where we have these reddish deposits within the glacier ice, iron deposits in the glacier ice, asking here, I'm still asking this. 33 kilometers away from that we have the power place Grimmiwasser, with the iron well, which is the place of power. Yeah, there might be some conductivity in these waters. Is there any possibility that the fire which happened on this mountain station of this cable car has something to do with possible iron deposits within the glacial ice? Because now we can see in the Antarctica there's a glacier where we have iron containing water pouring out. And that's somehow like really interesting. I've been talking about hydrogen. I was about to make a hydrogen video today, but now this popped up, so this is somehow also very interesting. And I've been talking about sulfur, saying that the origin of sulfur in Finland could be Venus, or the interaction of it, which sounds really crazy. Now they have a comet where they found sulfur. Yeah, and Venus's atmosphere contains quite much sulfur. And once again, back in the days I made these videos, I was taking contact to people which I suppose they know better than I do, but obviously they maybe don't. I try to ask people who know better than I do. And very often they are PhDs or doctors or whatsoever. Educated people. Not as I am. So I really try to ask questions because I want to know. So now we have, once again, this kind of confirmation that about my claims, it's not crazy anymore at all to think about that there could be actually a glacier growing in the Swiss Alps, and within the glacier there is iron, which could increase the overall conductivity of the environment. And then we have a cable car which goes to the valley, like huge cables, and there's a mountain and all these kind of things. It's just amazing. Sometimes it would be, I don't know how to call it, calming or refreshing to find something totally contradictory to some things I proposed or I think could be possible, It would make me think in a different way because yes, now I found something which is totally contradictory to what I have been telling. So forget everything I've been telling about that, or not forget it, but take it as it is. And now we take this new information into that, and let's see what we can make out of that. Where did I go wrong? And what's the thing? But now, once again, it happens so. I have been proposing a glacier with iron containing water, and now there's in Antarctica this glacier which has iron pouring out in unfrequent intervals. So it's every now and then doing it. There's obviously now not a really big rhythm or something. As we could imagine, these deposits are created as well. They don't seem to be very frequent, so every now and then it does it. Otherwise, we would have very structured layering in equal spaced or whatsoever. But they don't seem to be like that. Yes, what do you think about that? I think it's amazing. What to do? The place of power, an iron well, yes. Charge accumulates on peaks and edges, and we are talking about a mountain peak. So charge could really easily accumulate there, especially when having an iron glacier. Because you have to somehow understand also one thing, this if it's so that the water is like pouring out of that mountain, the iron goes through the whole mountain. It maybe comes from somewhere deep below the mountain and it rises all the way up to the mountain. So the whole mountain has this kind of a blood vein like humans do. Maybe there are other places on this same mountain where we have something like that. And I have found some other places where we have. Let me search quickly. Dziecigoszka Guzelka. Tourist attraction in Hrnjacie, Petrovice, Czechia. Yeah, another iron well. They're all over the place. Yeah, that's just a screenshot from wherever Google Earth. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, and all that has to do with mountain water. Because I think many, if not all of them, glacial or mountainous lakes are fed from below and only partially by melting water. Which would indicate that it's an active mountain, a cryptodome. The cryptodome is a form of a volcano because it mainly discharges through water. But anyway, I will leave links below, check them out, read my paper. Yeah, watch some of the mountain water playlist videos. And if you know what's the thing, tell me. Yeah, it's rather big. Hydrogen and stuff like that. The white rabbit. Anyway, thanks. Bye.